Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
Hello, and thanks for joining Corporate Governance Platform. The program is proudly brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals. And we are transmitting live from MITV in Lagos. I am Dr. Tunde Odeyemi. And in the next couple of minutes, we'll be having conversation on the importance of balance of skills and diversity of the board. And of course, to do justice to these topics, a very distinguished member of ICSAN, Mr. David DAUDA. Mr. David DAUDA is a governance expert and is a member of the Nigerian Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. Mr. David DAUDA, you are welcome to Corporate Governance Platform.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, like I said, we are going to be discussing the importance of balance of skills and diversity of the board. And I would like to start this conversation by referring to a section of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance, which says that balance of skills and diversity of the board are important in the compositions of the board. We would like you to tell our viewers what are the meanings of balance of skill and diversity.
Thank you very much, sir. The meaning of balance of skills and diversity. According to the Code of Corporate Governance 2018, balance of skills means that the membership of the board should comprise of individuals with knowledge, skills, experience, diversity, and independence necessary to undertake and execute their governance role on the board of the company. So, in other words, balance of skills is a board comprises of individuals that have different types of skills, knowledge, experience, and independence. While diversity, on the other hand, is that membership of the board should cut across variety of attributes. What are those attributes? Field of knowledge, skills, experience, age, culture, gender. So this is to enable or to ensure better decision making of the board. Thank you.
So what you're saying is that in the composition of the board, you have to look for people that have different skill knowledge.
Yes.
And also consider different kinds of diversity.
Yeah.
So what are the diversities that you need to consider?
Okay, the diversity that we need to consider is that we are looking at age.
Okay.
The board should comprise of people of different age, people of different culture, people of different gender. The board should not just be male, comprises of male folks, but both male and female.
Okay.
The board should comprise of both male and female, and not just male and female, but with the required and necessary skills and experience to ensure better decision of the board, which will translate into better results and profits of the company.
Okay. In what ways do you think lack of balance of skills of the board can be addressed? We assume that there is a board has not really entrenched this balance of skills in their composition. How well can they address this issue?
Okay, according to the Code of Corporate Governance 2018, the code specifically states that periodically the board should invigorate their capability, the capability of its member.
Okay.
So what does that mean? Is that to check for lack of balance of skills. And when this is being identified that there is lack of balance of skill on the board, then the code states that the members of the board should appoint new members to the board with fresh idea and skills and knowledge, while also retaining valuable skills and experience of the board. So when there is a lack of balance of skill on the board, the step for the board to take is to appoint new members to the board with the required skills.
Okay, so appoint new members into the board,
yes,
that has the required skills.
Skills.
Okay, let me talk to our viewers. If you are just joining, we are discussing the importance of balance of skills and diversity of the board. And I have with me here in the studio Mr. David DAUDA doing justice to that topic. You can also be part of this conversation either by asking questions or by making comments. We only receive text message. Send your question or comments to 080-2323-1287. 080-2323-1287. No phone calls, just text message. And we are discussing the importance of balance of skills and diversity of the board. Now, you have made, you actually said that how they can address the issues to have a new appointment on the board,
yes,
in such a way that they can have this balance of skills.
Yes.
Now, on the issue of gender diversity, you said we should have male and female the other time. On the issue of gender diversity, do you think the Nigerian corporate entities has gotten to a level that is comparable to the developed countries when it comes to having gender diversity on the board?
Thank you very much. The answer to that question is no. We have not gotten there.
Okay.
But the gap between the developed country and the Nigeria was very far before 2018. But with the introduction of the Corporate Governance Code 2018, that gap has been bridged, in the sense that a lot of reformation has come into place with publicly quoted companies since that introduction. Before 2018, or before the introduction of the code, we have some publicly listed companies without female on the board. Without, you see people, it's like a tribal company that you have only section of the companies are on the board, only section of the country. Maybe people from the southeast, people from the southwest, they are the dominants of the board. But with the advent of or the introduction of the 2018 Code of Corporate Governance, a lot of reformation take place. Many publicly listed entities appoint female to their board. We have had the female chairmen of company. We have Mrs. The popular Awosika. We have a lot of other chairmen who has held those positions that are female in public listed companies. So though we are not yet there, but we are close when you have to do with publicly quoted companies. But for the private entities, I can say we are very far.
With the public quoted companies, we are moving closer, but with the private company, with the limited liability companies,
yes,
rather. Okay. These limited liability companies are also doing well.
Yeah.
Why is it that the notion of the structure of the board and the composition of the board is so important in the context of corporate governance?
Okay, the notion of composition and structure of the board is very, very important because of we are talking about decisions.
Okay.
And with the kind of caliber of people you have on the board will determine the quality of decision that is being taken on the board. So with the notion is to ensure better decision taking or better decision making of the company, for the company.
So if there is no balance of skill or if there is no gender diversity, what you are trying to say is that we may not have the right decisions made at the board. Exactly,
because of the way you view a particular situation is different from the way I view it.
Okay.
The way the female gender may think we should take a decision may be different from the way a male gender may think. But when you make your own contribution, I make my own contribution, we arrive at a resolution or at a conclusion. We resolve to have a particular decision taken, which is collectively taken. And by so doing, we will end up making a better decision for the company.
Okay. Let's come back to the issue of structure. Can there be any recommended size of the composition and the structure of the board that companies generally can adopt as a template?
Okay. The code did not specifically state the ideal size of the board. However, the code states that the size of the board should be sufficient, mark the word sufficient, to undertake and fulfill the business of the company, to monitor, to oversee, to control the activities of the company. In other words, the size of the board should be commensurate to the size of the company. You will permit me to say that a company that has branches across Africa, let's even use West Africa as a case study, we now have the same size of board with a company that is only operating in a 2-bedroom flat in Lagos Island. No. So, in other words, the size of the board should be commensurate to what? To the size of the company. The size of the board should be sufficient enough to undertake and fulfill the business of the company.
Okay, the size of the board should be sufficient enough to undertake the business of the. So if the company is large, then we can have so many members, board members, and if the company is relatively small, then they may consider small numbers of the board.
Yes, they may consider small number.
Okay. Okay. So really, there can't be any recommended templates.
No, there can't be any recommended template.
Okay.
But you can only make except there is a particular scenario that so company A with so producing so with so then you can make a suggestion that you can have so number of the board. And most companies already have this in their MEMAT and a lot of the documents of the company, that okay, we have so and so shareholder having so number of this, is can appoint people to the board. But the ideal thing is that there can be template for the size of the board, because of the size, the company A and company B are not doing the same thing.
Okay, talking about the structure again, you know, we have the executive directors and the non-executive directors on the board.
Yes.
What role do they play? What role do executive directors play on the board? What roles do non-executive directors play on the board?
Thank you very much. First, the board is comprised of executive director, non-executive director, and the code make a mention of independent non-executive director again. So the executive director, the executive directors, which are the EDs, assist the managing director according to the code, or in practice, assist the executive director or executive chief executive officer,
okay,
the managing director, in running the company, in managing the business of the company. They are involved in the day-to-day running of the company, and these are maybe operation director, or have a finance director, legal director. They are all executive director. They know the business in and out.
And they are also members of the board.
They are also members of the board. They are involved in the running of the business, in the running of the company. They are executive directors. Why the non-executive directors are not involved in the day-to-day running of the company?
Okay.
They bring to the company their wealth of knowledge, experience into the decision and judgment of the company.
Okay. You actually mentioned another one the other time, the independent non-executive directors. Is it different from what the non-executive directors do, their role?
Yes, the independent non-executive director, like as you said, the independent, that means they are independent.
Okay.
They provide, or they bring to the company high degree of objectivity to the decision of the board, because according to the code or according to the law, they are not supposed to have shares, and even if they have shares, the share should be less than 1%. Okay. So they are independent, very, very independent of the company. So their own is to what? To bring a high degree of objectivity, to build investors, stakeholders trust and confidence in the company.
Apart from the decision making that you have said earlier on, what are the specific advantages or benefits to body corporate organizations that gets their composition and their structure right?
Okay. For a well-composed board of a company, the benefit cannot be overemphasized. There are a lot of benefits. One of it is that you will see it in the quality of the decision automatically, which will also transcend into the results and profit making of the company.
Okay.
And it will also help in better planning for the company, better formulation of strategies and policies to operate for the operations of the company, with profits and sustainability of the company in mind.
Okay. I want to look at shadow directorship. When we talk about shadow directorship, what really are we talking about? And how does it inhibit the performance of the board?
Okay. Shadow directorship, permit me to say, is what in my own terms, or is what is called cabal in the political space or in the political setting, where a person who is not a part of a system operate and control the system be at the back or from the back end. So that is what a shadow directorship is. In the political, in the corporate space, it's called shadow director. It's not a member of the board, but influences the decision of the board, influences the decision of the management, and it's not. And the code specifically states that a person or group of persons should not influence or dominate the decision of the board or management. Why? Because this person is not involved in the operations of the company. He may not be acting in the best interest of the company. Secondly, this person as well does not have the legal power to bind the company. Does not have the legal power to bind the company. Thirdly, this person does not have the legal protection or statutory protection of a legal director. In most cases, we find out that they are liable, they suffer personal liabilities when the company fails because they are not protected, they are not directors of the company.
How can they be avoided on the board?
Okay, they can be avoided on the board because the board is an independent body. It's a decision-making organ of the company.
Okay.
So they should be making decision, not taking order from outside the board.
The incidence of shadow directorship, could it be as a result of the weakness of the chairman of the board?
In most cases, yes. It might be as a result of the weakness of the chairman of the board. Maybe as a result of he was influential to making the person the chairman of the board.
Okay.
So I put you there. I know better than you there, and it's what is happening in most places and apart from the corporate world. You understand? So since I put you there, I think you should listen to me.
Okay.
So that is where the weakness comes in. And because of, okay, he put me there, okay, let me listen, let me compromise. We have such incidences. And secondly, maybe the person was influential in setting up the company, okay, or in one way or the other, the person have contributed to the success of the company in the past.
Okay. Let's do away with the shadow directors. Let's talk about the chairman. Why is it that a dictatorial chairman or overbearing chairman is inimical to the functions of the board?
Okay. When we talk about dictatorship, we are talking about my decision is final.
Okay.
What does the code say about the function of the chairman? The chairman is to provide the overall leadership to the company and to the board. Is to ensure constructive participation of all the board members. So once the chairman comes to say, what I say is final, and he does not want every other board to participate, automatically is obstructing his own functions. And there will not be, the decision of the board will be a sole person decision and not a collective decision.
Okay. That is when we say the chairman is dictatorial, yes, or is overbearing. Now, what would be the aftermath effect of that on the board?
The aftermath effect of that on the board, you see that in most cases, you'll see the board or the company, the board, start having issues.
Okay. Fighting
between the directors, because when a chairman is a dictator, it does not last. There are some people who will say, why are we here? They want to challenge the chairman, and that is why you have so many companies has folded up. I don't want to mention name. We see them on news, publicly listed company, quoted companies, they are folded up. because of internal crisis between the board members.
Okay, because of internal crisis between the board members. On that note, what is your advice to corporate entities on the issue of balance of skills and diversity of the board?
Oh, my advice to corporate entities is that corporate entities are the pillars of a developing economy.
Okay.
They are the life wire of a developing economy. And for them to succeed or strive, there must be an effective decision, good decision, better decisions. And for there to be better decisions, there have to be an effective board. And you can only be an effective board when there is what? Balance of skills and diversity on the board. So I will advise corporate entity to ensure balance of skills on their board, to ensure that they have a well-composed and structured board.
The advice is that board should have a well-composed and structured board. In less than 30 seconds, I just want to quickly push in this. Why is it that the code is specific on the fact that if a member of the board wants to take appointment and in another board, he has to disclose it to that board?
Okay, quickly, I will still answer that question with a question. If there is company A, company A is producing sugar, and company B is also producing sugar, can you effectively serve those both companies?
Definitely, there will be conflict of interest.
There will be conflict of interest.
Okay. On that note, we would like to wrap up on today's episode of Corporate Governance Platform. Mr. David DAUDA, thank you very much for coming on the show and for sharing your thoughts on balance of skills and diversity of the board. We invite you to join us same time, same station next week. And on behalf of my producer, Adeboye Galabiro, and the technical director, David Adepoju, I remain Dr. Tunde Odeyemi. Bye for now.
Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute